So in this video, let us try to understand what is meant by static timing analysis. So here I'm dealing it by using tool called as PrimeTime, which is from Synopsys, and there is one more tool from Cadence that is called as Tempus. So coming to the introduction to static timing analysis, the key to working silicon usually lies in the successful completion of static timing analysis performed on a particular design. PrimeTime is a standalone tool from Synopsys used to perform static timing analysis. So we can use either PrimeTime, which is from Synopsys, or else you can go with Tempus, which is from Cadence. So in industry, we'll be using both the tools. So depending upon the budget and all, we'll be dealing with both Synopsys tools as well as Cadence tools. So PT stands for PrimeTime here. PrimeTime not only checks the design against the required timing constraints as defined by the design specifications, but also performs a comprehensive analysis of the entire design. This capability makes static timing analysis one of the most critical steps in the VLSI design flow, and it is widely used as a sign-off criteria before handing over the design to ASIC vendor. Here ASIC stands for Application Specific Integrated Circuit. This chapter illustrates the part of the design flow where PrimeTime is utilized, covering both pre-layout STA and post-layout STA. So these are two phases of ASIC design process. So already I have made videos on what is meant by pre-layout STA and what is meant by post-layout STA. So please check out my playlist called as Static Timing Analysis if you want to know the difference between pre-layout and post-layout. Now let us see what is meant by static timing analysis. Traditional methods of analyzing gate-level designs using dynamic simulations have become a bottleneck for large and complex designs. With the increasing trends towards SoC, that is system-on-chip integration, modern ASICs often contain millions of gates, making full dynamic simulation impractical due to extreme long runtimes, sometimes extending to days or even weeks. So the only difference between STA and DTA is in dynamic timing analysis, whereas STA is static timing analysis and DTA is dynamic timing analysis. There, in dynamic timing analysis, we should apply test stimulus. Suppose if your input contains 16 bits, then you have to apply 2 power 16 different combinations in order to check the functionality. So that will take more amount of days or weeks. So that is one of the problem with dynamic timing analysis. So you can see here, moreover, dynamic simulations depend heavily on the quality and coverage of the test bench used for verification. So if 16 inputs are there, you need to apply 2 power 16 combinations. Suppose if 100 inputs are there, you need to apply 2 power 100 combinations of input. Runtime will be more and output you can't predict and you can't debug clearly. So that is one of the problem. Only those parts of the circuit that are sensitized by test vectors gets tested, while unsensitized portions remain untested. So here test vectors or test stimulus, everything is same. Means simply we are applying test bits. Suppose if you are taking 2 input AND gate, you will be applying 2 power 2 combinations, that is 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0 and 1, 1. To overcome these limitations, designers use static timing analysis to verify the timing of the gate level design and formal verification to verify the functional equivalence between synthesized netlist and the source RTL. So here formal verification is something which is done by using conformal LEC. So that is something which is used to check whether your golden RTL and the gate level design which you got are correct or not. So we need to check in terms of functionality. However, dynamic simulations is still required to validate the functionality of the RTL itself before synthesis. So before going to synthesis, after writing any RTL, you need to check whether that functionality is proper or not. Suppose if you are taking half adder, after writing the Verilog code of half adder, you need to apply test vectors for half adder and you have to check the functionality, whether it is getting satisfied or not. For proper combinations of inputs, whether you are getting proper sum or carry or not is what you need to check. By restricting simulations to RTL level functional checks, overall runtime is significantly reduced. The STA approach, in contrast, is extremely fast compared to dynamic simulations and comprehensive, as it verifies all timing parts in the gate level design, not just those activated by test vectors. So the difference between STA and DTA is, in static timing analysis, it will be using the delay values from the .lib. So there is a team called a standard cell characterization team where they will be giving you .libs. Means it contains all the delay values of all the cells that are present. That is, it can be basic gates, or else it can be combination circuits, sequential, FSM, everything. After designing, they'll be drawing layout, and characterization team will be doing this. So designers will be drawing the designs, layout people will be drawing the layouts, and characterization people will be generating the .libs. So you will get these .libs, and based upon that, it will pick and it will verify the timing. What exactly happens in STA is, whatever may be the design, it will be divided into timing parts. Mainly there will be 4 types of parts called as input to register, register to register, register to output, and input to output. We'll be understanding those in detail in the upcoming slide. Because the STA engine operates similarly To the synthesis engine, static timing analysis is ideally suited for verifying synthesized designs before final sign-off. So you need to understand the terminology called as what is meant by synthesis, what is meant by the standard cell characterization and all. So I have maintained two playlists by the name synthesis and STA, followed by one of the playlists is there called as standard cell characterization. So please check out those videos which are present in those playlists so that you'll be understanding this particular video easily. Now let's see what to analyze. In general, four types of timing analysis are performed on a design. From primary inputs to all the flip-flops in the design. Next one is from flip-flop to flip-flop. Next one is flip-flop to primary output of the design, and from primary inputs to primary output of the design. So as I told you, entire design will be divided into four timing parts, that is input to register, register to register, register to output, and input to output. So this is that particular timing diagram. It contains two flops, followed by this logic is something which is combinational logic, and these are ports. So A, clock, and Z are the ports. So path one is, this is from input to register. Next one, this is register to register is path 2. Next, register to output is path 3, and input to output is called as path number 4. So this path number 4 is completely combination. So that's what I have mentioned it here. What is the starting point and what is the ending point? So in the path 1, you can see the starting point is called as input port, and ending point is called as data input of the sequential element. Next, coming to path number 2, starting point is clock pin of sequential element, and ending point is data input of sequential element. Coming to path 3, so input is called as clock pin of sequential element, and end point is called as output port. So that's what I mentioned it here. Next, coming to path number 4, start point is called as input port, and ending point is called as output port. So be clear with this part, followed by starting points and ending points. If you want, have a look at this particular slide. Now coming to PrimeTime commands for each analysis. All four types of analysis can be executed in Synopsys PrimeTime using the following commands. So we have to see the commands, like what are the commands that are used to check the timing report of all these parts, that is path 1, path 2, path 3, and path number 4. So you can see here pt underscore shell is something which is called as PrimeTime. This is something which you will be seeing when you invoke the tool. So this is called as PrimeTime prompt. So report timing hyphen from all inputs to all registers of data pin. So you can see here this is path number 1. So this is from all inputs and to all registers, that is data pins. So that's what I've given it here. Report timing hyphen from all inputs to all registers hyphen data pins. So this is the command that we need to use for path 1. Next, coming to path number 2, report timing hyphen from. So this is all registers, but this is clock pin. So that's why hyphen clock pin to all registers data pins. So this is clock pin, this is data pin, this is starting point, this is ending point. So start point is from, end point is 2. So report timing hyphen from all registers hyphen clock pins to all registers data pins. So this is the command for path 2. Now let's see path number 3. So here it is from all registers, which is clock pins, to all output. So report timing hyphen from all registers hyphen clock pins to all output. This is path number 3. Now coming to path number 4. So report timing, so from all inputs to all outputs. So this is the starting point, this is the ending point. So A is starting point, Z is ending point. So that's why report timing hyphen from all inputs to all outputs. So this is the command that we need to use for path number 4. So this is the final summary. This is for path 1, path 2, path 3, and path number 4. Although the above method is cleaner for generating individual reports, which can be piped to separate files for detailed analysis, it may take longer computation time since PrimeTime processes each path group separately. So we can use like this, but computational time will be more. So now let us see the optimized method for faster runtime. To achieve faster results, the following simplified commands can be used. Report timing to all registers, that is data pin. So this is data pin, this is data pin, and if you are coming for path 1, this is from, this is 2. If you want path 2, this is from, this is 2. For path 3, this is from, this is 2. And for path number 4, A is from and Z is 2. So now what I'm doing is report timing to all registers of data pin. So all registers of data pin means this path will be considered, followed by this path will be considered. Next, report timing to all output. So this is the one that will be considered, to all output. These commands produce equivalent timing results, but in less time, since PrimeTime internally optimizes the timing path coverage. So if you want faster runtime, go for this command. If you want to analyze in detail, go for the previous slide commands that I've shown. So here detailedly you are not mentioning like what is the starting point and what is the end point. So simply you are going with two commands, so which is end point. So here for path 1, endpoint is this one, which is data pin of flop. And for path number 2, endpoint is data pin of flop. And for path number 3, endpoint is all outputs. And for path number 4, endpoint is all outputs. So in that manner, it will be considered. So in this video, we have understood what is meant by static timing analysis and what are the commands that we need to use in Synopsys PrimeTime. Thank you.